What's up? It's your girl Sheila, and I'm a first time mom at 36. And I just wanted to come on here and just show a few of the bottles that I happen to use, and just want to see, moms, which ones are your favorite. I originally started with the Dr. Brown's anti-colic newborn baby bottle, the one with the green. I'll post a picture because I threw the bottle away actually after a few uses, and me cleaning it and then realizing that the green stem area was very hard to clean, so it would still have like a little milk, probably dried up milk or so. Like it didn't, I don't know. I got concerned with possibly bacteria buildup or so, being that I couldn't get anything down there in the tubal area to clean it. However, I want to show you guys this cute little bottle because that was a concern of mine. Sanitizing the bottles was a concern of mine. This bottle became like my favorite bottle. Now, whoever decided to create this ma'am bottle was a genius. Not only do I like it because I feel like the nipple of the bottle is kind of give you that same shape of when your nipple is, engorged or whatnot. So you have the nipple and then how your breast is shaped, how it formulates here. So the grip or the latching of my baby is pretty much perfect with this nipple, alongside the components of it. Now, there was a pacifier that came inside, which I thought was an extra treat. Very cute. Very cute here. Came inside. And I like that this actually screws off the bottom. So you can easily just take these things apart, clean them, and then put them back together. So this is now my favorite bottle. If I could, I would go and buy some more, particularly to utilize on the go bottles. I do use these on the go bottles, like just to keep in his baby bag if I want to pump and go and just have some milk stored for like emergency usage. I'll use this bottle if this bottle isn't cleaned, or like I say, the Dr. Brown bottle wasn't available. But I'm no longer investing in those bottles because of that green tube area that I just can't. It was just that part for me. But I did feel that the Dr. Brown bottle was helping in regards to like the vent and preventing my baby from sucking so much of air into his mouth. For the most part, I can't give you expert advice on all of the bottles and utilizations because my baby is mostly breastfed. So because I am at home with him, he's mostly on my breast majority of the time. But I just thought that I would go and preview some of the bottles that I do use, just in case moms can give me some advice on which bottles they use and which would be best. Because no matter which bottle I use, it still seems that he is still gassy. Maybe that's just a thing. I mean, I've even tried switching up some of the things that I eat, but he's just full of gas. And it's getting to the point where sometimes he's a little fussy. So what I have been practicing, because I looked up that most of the time with my nursing pillow, he's laying down in the, what we would call the football type position. He's laying down on the breast. And then I set him up so I can burp him. And most of the time I start bouncing him and like squishing him, like contracting his stomach a little up and down. And then I realize that he's burping a little more easier once I do that. Take him and move him around and different things of that sort. Before, I used to allow him to just go to sleep because he will most of the time fall asleep on my breast or after he eats. And I feel that sleep is vital for his growth, being that he's still so young, and I don't want to just interrupt his sleep when I don't have to. Of course, every 2 hours he would wake up. Normally he's on schedule. Now he's stretching it out to about 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. He'll wake up for his own feeding. So I no longer have to set the alarms anymore because he is telling me a little more when he's hungry, versus when he was a freshly newborn, a few days old, I used to have to just consistently wake up. Now that he's 6 weeks old, he's coming around to waking up himself, and he do the suction thing like in his sleep most of the time. So I don't know if that's one of the causes, because he do tend to do that when he sleeps sometimes. So I don't know if he's suckling in air and that's getting into his stomach, which is making it worse. But I just thought that I would come. This ma'am bottle, if I had to recommend a bottle, I would highly recommend this ma'am bottle, only because of the cleaning components, how easy and convenient it is to clean. And of course, they give you the cute little pacifier on the inside. And when pumping and you're looking to fill the bottle, this is not as threatening as other size bottles, with especially for moms that breastfeed and that pump, because sometimes, you know, our milk production can go up, increase, and sometimes it decreases. And a lot of times that messes with your mental, because you be like, oh my gosh, am I producing enough? Most of the times that I am utilizing bottles, though, I would say that I only use bottles because I would like to keep up with how much my son is actually eating, to make sure that my body is meeting his demands. For the most part, like I say, he's on my breast, so my body knows to continue to produce the milk. But just by him sucking milk from my breast, I cannot determine how much he's actually consuming, because he go to sleep fast. He's not feeding 15 minutes or 12 minutes. Most people calculate how the time frame that he's actually on the breast, and I have not calculated that time frame. So it's just easy for me to pump, fill up a bottle, and say, hey, right now at 6 weeks he's eating 2.5 ounces to now 3 ounces. Sometimes I've filled up a bottle and noticed that he probably eat a little less or eat a little more, depending on how often that I've fed him, or the most recent time that he's gotten a bottle. He's also now, before he didn't do the pacifiers too much, but I noticed that he will put the pacifier in his mouth to kind of soothe him, to prepare him for my breast, or until I can get ready or established, because my baby is a boss baby. He's like stop, drop, and roll, and he expect the breast to be on demand, which I try to make it available as as much as I can, of course. And let's not talk about the soreness. So the bottles do help too. If your nipples get sore, or if your baby haven't been latching properly and you get a little sore, get a little sensitive, and your nipples need a little break, sometimes the pump is less harsh on the nipple. So if I ever get to that point before, I start overdoing it on my breast, and like a lot of people say, cracked nipples and bleeding nipples and all of that, thank God I haven't experienced that. But I would pump and put it in a bottle just once I feel like my breast is really tender or so. So this is just my usage of bottles, the reasons why I use them, the ones that I prefer and why I prefer them. Hey, if you got any bottles or any recommendations that you can refer to me as a first-time mom, I'm open and I'm all ears, and especially because my baby is gassy, and like I say, a lot of times that's what I'm fighting with, the gas. Well, thank you if you tuned in to listen to my bottles review, my recommendations, and my advice on how life is breastfeeding. I'm looking forward to next time. Have a great one.